quick, just so that gets recorded. Yeah. So, how do you know that your team's following behind you at all times, which is kind of can be a difficult thing. Ultimately, that comes down to awareness to know, is your team with you or is your team not with you? And if your team's with you, then you have the ability to be able to take up space. And if your team's not with you, well, then you might just end up getting yourself killed trying to take space.
Right.
So knowing that comes down to awareness, and an easy way to do that is to formulate the habit of looking behind you. But then also, like, there's other things that can help with that, like keeping your ears open, so audio awareness will impact that. But I'd say the easiest way is to build the habit of, before you ever push to take space, always do a quick 360 and check where's my team at, and see if you have them pushing with you. Because if you don't do that, then you might just end up pushing them without even knowing if they're with you, and then you end up going and dying.
I see.
So do a quick scan and then push. It only has to take a second, and especially if you're pushing dangerously. If it's like a pretty casual push and it's not gonna be dangerous for you to take space, then it's not as big of a deal, but it's good to form the habit of just check before you go.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I
Any
got a
other
code.
questions? Yeah, the code.
I don't think so. Yeah. I found one with let's see. Dorado. No. Yeah, I found one with 4 of us, so this will be a
Okay,
good one.
cool.
It's
Frog Slayer.
let's see. Midtown. Okay. ZW
Mm-hmm.
QP HP. This one was from a week ago, so the details might be a little forgotten, but it does say it was a
Mm-hmm.
close 3-2 victory.
All right,
So definitely wasn't a steamroll, and we
cool.
managed to catch the win. And then we're all playing the roles we want. So I'm playing tank, Inky Squid's playing DPS, and then adventurer and uh,
All right,
Clonopin are
cool.
playing support.
So
Yeah.
you guys are red. All right, so thinking, since it's been a few weeks, just for myself, doing a quick mental recap of what are the topics we talked about. First week, we talked about communication roles. I'm pretty sure we've talked about positioning, general positioning. Uh, Last week, we spent a lot of time going over compositions and then I even sent you guys the chart of which characters go into which comp,
Yep.
and how the compositions interact with each other. Trying to think, because now we're starting to get into the territory where we've covered a lot. We've done broad strokes over a lot of the major topics. Unless I'm forgetting something that we haven't covered, and if I am, then somebody bring it up and we can go over it. But I think that we've kind of covered a lot of the major team play elements. So now we'll kind of spend some time implementing and seeing and watching and try and looking for those situations um to help continue to develop those different skills, and then we'll also we'll just see what happens and talk about things on a situational basis, and we'll see what things as a team do you guys struggle with and whatnot as we watch some of your gameplay, because I think
Okay.
in comparison, we'll probably be going over more gameplay this time in comparison to the last two times, because last two times we did just have the topics to cover.
A lot
Now
of
we'll be,
theory.
yeah, a lot of theory. Now we'll be looking at you guys, hopefully implementing the theory, and we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Any final questions before we get started?
I was just gonna say, like, in case you feel like this footage isn't the best, like we have like I think like 2 or 3 other ones we can try.
Cool.
Just because I don't remember exactly how this game goes.
Yep. Well, we have, like another hour and 45 minutes, so we will
Yeah, we have time.
probably, well, yeah, we might even be able to like get through one or two of these. So we might be able to get through a couple. So we'll see.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let me know if anybody has questions as we go, or as topics that they want to see covered. So scanning team compositions. Let's see how well you guys have gotten at identifying them. Real quick. So quick trivia. What composition is their team on right now?
They are. I think they're
Is that
poke.
a poke? Yeah.
Yep, yep. So every but like the Widowmaker is poke, Mercy's poke, Soldier's poke. Orisa is kind of a pokey brawl hybrid, because she does have a decent bit of range with her kit. And then Ana is not really poke, but she's flexible enough to where she can make it work. So overall, they're poke. Somebody else. What team are you guys on right now?
That's like it's like a raw poke hybrid.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's what I would say. Mercy and Soldier are poke. Moira and Ryan are brawl, and then Junkrat is kind of a poke brawl hybrid himself. So that means that you guys are, I'd say, maybe leaning mildly more towards brawl, considering your tank is a brawl tank. Um, so whereas I would say they're primarily spam on their ends because both their DPS are spam and their tank is kind of spammy brawl. Your tank is pretty much primarily brawl. So um that what does that mean if we're just flat up looking at the team compositions? What how does that mean that your comp will want to play into their comp? Faster, slower? Uh, are you going to be closer or further?
I'd say
If they're
further.
playing poke, isn't like the sort of rock paper scissors thing to be diving them? I mean, I know we're not dive, but isn't that like
Yeah. So
you want to
that's
be faster?
yeah, that's the rock paper scissors. So dive um would be the rough counter to poke. But that's like it's not well, we'll see. Like it's not always a necessity. Sometimes it depends on the map. Sometimes it
Oh, I
depends
realized
on
I was muted. My bad.
sometimes it kind of just depends on the situation. But yep, that is the rock paper scissors.
Yeah. So if
If
they're
if
playing
you
poke,
stay
they're
in a
probably going to go faster.
yeah, if you stayed on this composition, then how you'd play is, yep, you go faster than them because they're playing slow and you're playing, even though some of your characters are playing slow, generally speaking, you're playing faster. Um, if
So
you
you
just
want
sit
to
around.
you want to play like tight corners, right? Like close the distance,
Yes,
right?
tight
Because they're
corners, close
okay.
the distance, run in, get on top of them, and that should open up more of an advantage. It's now, I mean, like there are obviously other elements like Widowmaker can just get a headshot and turn the fight. But isn't it just overall going to lessen the chance of Widow's headshots if you're running in and trying to get kills than if you're just kind of sitting there at choke? If you're just sitting there at choke, now their Widowmaker and Soldier just have more time to spam you guys. Um, and Reinhardt's probably just gonna sit around doing not a whole lot. All right, so let's see how you guys do it. Okay, so they're playing pretty close. That's honestly decent for you guys. The closer they're playing. Okay, so notice they're taking pretty wide angles on you guys. We're kind of just sitting. Okay, now we're charging. Now we're going. Okay, so um, you can kind of see how your team comp kind of pulls itself apart. Now we can, I mean, you can still make it work. You can make anything work if you play it properly. But you see, an inherent weakness within your team composition is the fact that Reinhardt, as a brawl tank, is gonna want to just go, 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 sprint into them. But notice how inherently the soldier and the Junkrat, who aren't as brawly as Reinhardt, are going off on the flanks to try to take other damage. So that is an inherent weakness behind the brawl spam hybrid. is that some of your team wants to just go go go, and some of the team wants to sit. Something that now that's that aside, so that's something that you might want to consider when putting the composition together and think through. Well, maybe we could just swap it up and have a different tank, and now you're much better, or swap up a DPS or something like that. Or even like maybe even swapping Mercy out for like a Lucio could get your team increase your team's brawl and ability to get on top of the enemy team, things like that. It's really swapping like one character here on any of the roles could significantly boost the team's cohesiveness. Now, presuming you already have the composition, now we're just working with the fact that you're running this comp. Reinhardt's kind of going without the rest of the team, so that's what we were exactly what we were talking about before with the check behind you and see where's my team at before you're going. Communicate and tell your team that you're pushing. If you know, like Soldier, if you know you're gonna be out of the fight for the next 4 seconds while you're rotating, maybe say I'm not with you guys yet. Um, things like that. So communicate, Reinhardt, look around before you're pushing. Probably shouldn't be charging in when you only have your Moira behind you and you're running into 4 people. So that's just gonna means that Reinhardt takes a crap ton of damage, gets down to 1 HP. Moira kind of fades out unnecessarily there. So
Moira just kind of bailed on me right there.
Yeah. I guess Moira's out of heals at the moment.
It's crazy. I was like the only one there too. Look at that.
All right, Junkrat and Mercy are on the flank. Honestly, you can make it work, but it's a tough point on attack for Junkrat to get value, especially into their spam. I feel like it's gonna be difficult to get value out of Junkrat. We gotta kill him. Cool. Reinhardt and Moira die in the front while Junkrat's doing the flank. So if you guys have people flanking, maybe try like just syncing it up and communicating, because like that whole time Junkrat was running on the flank was when you guys were fighting. So if you all are fighting at the same time rather than like 2-on-4 and then 2-on-4, you'll be much more likely to actually win this. So you guys just kind of push at separate times. Okay, Mercy and Junkrat just tearing them up. So it looks like, Junkrat got some decent value out of the flank, but I think it just needed to happen more synced up. You guys just weren't in sync with each other.
That makes sense.
Junkrat pushes onto the open in front of like 4 people while without a tank, so you just gotta be careful. Definitely can do all that same stuff from cover. Don't need to push that far out in the open. Okay, they land an anti on the Ryan. So you can see just the struggle to push. So, while Reinhardt's trying to push and get on the Soldier, once again, it just kind of feels like attention is split. So Reinhardt's all the way up here. Soldier and Moira are being pushed back by the Orisa. Reinhardt's trying to get the Soldier. Might be good just because of the fact that Soldier's getting pocketed. He gets nano here. But once again, like, keep track of what your team's up to and back up to like maybe take the Orisa out, because Orisa's way out of position right now and is about to die. So if Reinhardt just stays alive here, Orisa dies, and then you're up, and they're down their tank. So that's all that needs to happen there, is just Reinhardt to play a bit safer. Watch, you guys probably want to guard the res. Nobody watched the res. No, Tyre doesn't even do nothing. All right, so a bit of audio awareness. Maybe you could have like gotten the widow or something. Nobody else was really there.
The Junkrat's like just a random.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Throwing us the random.
Yeah,
That's
Junkrat's not
that's
with
good.
us.
That's good to know. Okay, nice. Okay, so we swap up to the Roadhog, which we'll see that might be a really good thing here, just because I think that Reinhardt was struggling maybe a bit with the team composition that you're running because he didn't really have support going with him. So I think Roadhog's just probably a better pick here. Oh, nobody watches the risk. That's like so that one especially just you have like 3 or 4 people just watching her res in front of you guys. That's a very easy res to kill, and that's much more value. So awareness for all of you guys. You never team composition dictates playstyle, like we've been talking about. You never ever have to watch for dead bodies unless they're on a mercy. And when they're on a mercy, now you gotta watch every single time you get a kill. Watch for her to go and try to get the res, because then you could boop her, stun her, kill her, and then that's much extra value instead of letting her get value by getting the res off. Mercy, once again, like nobody's really paying attention to the Mercy, who's like right over here on the like out in the open, half HP, like right in, like not really behind anything. So Roadhog's not looking at her. Soldier is. Moira's not. So Roadhog and Moira aren't looking at the Mercy, who's half at the moment, and just in this left room. And then that would just be a really easy kill to finish off. So, target priority, feature and awareness, as well as maybe even um, calling out who we're shooting and when people are low health. Okay. So now we're playing a bit slower. We push in. I think the team comp's more cohesive than it was before, so I think that's really working in your favor. Yeah, as much as just living through everything here. Wow. Alright. Cool, just cleaning up.
Yeah, the Reinhardt was definitely struggling. So I think once I switched to Roadhog,
Yep.
it kind of opened things up.
Yep. I think that's definitely a good idea. Um, I don't think that Reinhardt is horrible on this map, but he's definitely Reinhardt as a character can definitely struggle when you don't have a team composition that supports him because he's very one-dimensional and not very flexible. Um,
Hmm.
so Reinhardt just kind of wants to go, and if your team isn't on board with that, then it can kind of struggle. Um, on top of that, this map as a whole, I'd probably say like what would you guys say is the best team composition for this map?
For for this map, I
Uh,
feel like Poke
Midtown?
is. I feel
Yeah,
like Poke is.
it's very long and
Yeah.
open.
Yep, I agree. Probably poke. I mean you can see some I think that it's not uh, impossible to see value with dive and brawl on this map. Especially like I mean I think third point might get some of the more value out of brawl. Second point might get more value out of dive.
Hmm.
But overall, I'd say yeah, poke is a pretty consistent one for the whole map. So I think that the Ryan swap was a good idea. Okay, so um, they have. So if we're doing ult tracking, they have nano visor. Yeah, that's probably a big thing that they have going for them. They have, I mean, like you can also be watching for like Orisa and then once they get EMP up, then those will be all big things to watch out for. So they have some pretty threatening ultimates. So ult tracking is gonna be pretty important up against them. Um, Now, what are different ways, just quiz again, what are different ways that your team could deal with nanovisor? What's the plan? If we call that they have nanovisor, what's the plan now?
That's-
With what we got, I mean, getting behind cover more, I might be able to help, and maybe Junkrat can tire him.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Junkrat
seeing, maybe.
tires. Yeah, Junkrat tire is a good option if he has it.
Oh wait,
Um,
does Soldier all lock onto Junkrat tire?
I think it does. But if you can sneak it on him quick enough, then he can get it. So it's at least a good idea to try.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that
we could nano
is
their
the
nano,
idea.
or not
Um,
nano, but visor their visor.
yeah, the visor though that might struggle just because the nano will outperform the mercy pocket, because of the damage reduction and higher damage stat increase. Um, I'd say primarily is just avoid and maybe tire it. Those are maybe your options. If he's like sprinting in, maybe you could whole hog him away, but those are pretty much about it. Um, what about like if they have Orisa and Sombra ult coming up?
I feel like um
Just spread out. That's all I can see. I can think of. Yeah, where's this?
Yeah. Spread out,
Yeah, just spread
make
out.
sure know that it's coming, and that is going to reduce its effectiveness, the effectiveness of those ultimates. If you know that they're coming and you can spread out and use cover, both of those ultimates, all three of those ultimates, the easiest way to counter is just use cover. Right? If you just get around the corner, then none of them affect you. So using cover, knowing is coming, shooting the character, things like that. So your team doesn't have any direct like ult counters per se. So uh, just using general game sense is just going to be your best bet in terms of surviving them. So Mercy's just running into your team. Sometimes like there's like Mercy's just ran like sprint, just flew into the middle of a bunch of you guys again there, and nobody looked at her. It's like, look, let's watch this. So just more awareness. Right, like Mercy's flying in front of, right next to Roadhog, right in front of Moira, Mercy, Junkrat, and Soldier, and then you watch Junkrat not look at her, Moira and Mercy fly past her, Soldier run past her. Or like
damn.
literally your entire team beside the only person on your team who noticed her was the Junkrat.
And he's not even with us.
Right, so um awareness. Why don't we go talk about that a bit more? Have we like gone in depth on awareness? Is that something that we've talked through?
Let me check. Let me check my notes here. No,
No?
no, we haven't.
No? Alright, cool.
I don't think so.
Have we talked about have we talked about I mean I'd hope we've talked about applying the things that we're working on, like uh be intentionally focusing on the things you're trying to
Yep.
work on. Yeah, so we talked about
Yeah.
that. So
Kind of
awareness,
trying to do like one thing at a time. Don't overload
yeah,
yourself.
exactly. So awareness just as a concept um, is really quite simple, but also that doesn't mean just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy because there are a ton of things to pay attention to while you're playing, and that's why it's difficult. But awareness, quite simply, is paying attention, right? It's looking at your surroundings, looking around, and notating and processing what you see. So to increase your awareness um, is pretty straightforward, um, and but it doesn't come easy, and it will take effort and work. So increasing awareness is literally just paying attention more. And how do you pay attention more? Well, by focusing on paying attention. And it's kind of goes back to exactly what we've talked about in terms of, but this is going to be more of an on the individual level. So I'd encourage you on the all of you guys on the individual level to make sure that while you're playing that you're actively focusing on the things you're trying to work on. That you're so if you're thinking about awareness, you're thinking to yourself, awareness, 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 awareness. Look around, right? So awareness will be increased if when we're going through. Like let's try taking a look at different people's perspectives, right? While we're doing this. We can start with Roadhog, right? So Mercy, right? You can just see Mercy float right by your screen. So just paying attention to what's on your screen, keeping your ears open. Let's see, what other characters you have? Soldier, who probably also saw it. Let's see. Okay, so Mercy on your screen, flies and drops right there. Okay, we come up here, we hear her clunking around, and we don't even look to check. Right, let's see it from, let's go back 5 seconds and see it from Moira's perspective. Right. Saw Mercy right in front of the screen and then don't look to check. Hear her right next to you. So, paying attention to what's on your screen, looking around, and this is kind of what we're talking about with the tank, and like don't walk everywhere in a slow pan, like just move in and just like slowly moving your camera. You want to be checking around pretty frequently. So when you come in through here, you're checking left and right. You know, maybe you're doing a 360 once in a while. So putting more things into your camera. Another thing that can help with this is not staring at the ground. If any of you are in the habit of keeping your crosshair too low, that can impact your awareness because you can't. If you're looking at the ground, you won't be able to see the high ground as easily as if you're looking straight, and then you can see high grounds pretty easy. Keeping your ears open, different audio settings that we can go over really quick is master volume. Just make sure you have it loud enough. That's just really depends on your system volumes. Then besides that, I'd recommend having your music volume off or low, just so it's not cluttering with your audio. I usually just say low, just so it's not cluttering with your audio. And then you have spatial audio. All of you should have some form of surround sound, hopefully. Now, lots of headsets come with surround sound options, but if your headset doesn't have that as an option, there's in-game spatial audio, Dolby Atmos for headphones, which is like the in-game option. And then besides that, there is play sounds when teammates and enemies are eliminated, which are just good to have enabled because it's basically an auditory kill feed. But overall, all those settings could be good, and you could still have bad audio awareness if you're not actively listening, if you're not listening for gunshots and abilities and ultimates and footsteps. So like that's why it is an active process of focusing. Focus on your surroundings, focus just think to yourself, awareness, 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 listen, 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 look, look, look. And if you're focusing on paying attention, guess what? You're paying attention better now because you're putting the effort into it. And then as you do that for a long enough period of time, it forms it as a habit. And then once you form it as a habit, now it just comes more naturally. And you can move on to your next thing to work on from there. And then, like we said before, don't try to do everything all at once because that's too overwhelming. But focus on one category of things or 1 to 3 smaller things within a category. So maybe each of you should be trying to look for one thing that you can work on individually, and then when you're coming together, work on one thing that you can work on as a team, or one category as a team. So those are different things to keep in mind while you're going through. Does all that make sense? Any questions to anybody?
That makes sense. The settings where it was the play sound when your teammate or enemy is eliminated, like that's
Yep.
actually I didn't know that was a thing. That's
Mm-hmm.
super helpful. I just checked and mine were off.
Yep,
And
they're by
like I
default
feel like
off.
whenever I'm like in a battle, I'm so focused on what's going on that I'm like not checking the kill feed and I have no idea if we're winning or losing.
Mm-hmm.
So just the fact that I'm gonna be able to have like reminders to just like quickly peek up top right whenever something happens, like
Yep.
that's a helpful setting that I think that we all should change to.
Yep. Um, Another small thing is just you can, if no one knew this, you can turn off playing sound while in the background for the game in case you ever want to tab out or go on another monitor and do something else. You don't have to have the game playing audio. All right. So you guys are pushing. Good job, like, cleaning up these staggers. Uh-oh, Roadhog's kind of pushing without the team. This isn't risky because it's just a soldier, but if their Orisa came and jumped on you, then that would be much, much riskier. You guys also aren't maintaining the high ground advantage here. I think that you only really need like 1 or 2 people in point, and you could have like the rest of you guys up on high grounds, which would give you a much better angle to be shooting at people from. Keeping in mind the fact that they have a Sombra, so maybe um, maybe you could have like the Roadhog down on point or something like that. That way, the Sombra isn't just coming in and seeing a squishy just sitting on point and getting them. But here we just none of us are on high ground. We're split attention. You guys, once again, like kind of awareness wise, like we could just very easily like all come back and shoot at the Orisa and the Sombra, and then that's a free kill, and you'll be able to push a cart so much further. But we're like leaving that, we're like just split attention again. And this comes all back to kind of what we talked about in the first session um about calling targets, um, and also communication with each other. So one, this is on Moira and Roadhog. I'd say especially Roadhog for not knowing and being aware that there's a Orisa behind you guys. But then also it's on everybody else on cart who maybe aren't calling it out. Um, or who knows, maybe you were calling it out and it still wasn't getting through. I have no clue. I don't have the comms right now. But make sure it's getting called out, and then hopefully we can be all shooting at the same thing. Okay, now we're turning around. That's really good. Uh-oh, Mercy flies straight into a nanovisor. And almost gets out, but it gets like caught and stuff. So maybe a bit of awareness of the nanovisor. Okay. Now you guys have 3 ults. They can't really touch, so maybe we just use like 1 if really needed, but you probably won't need it. Oh. What happens to a Roadhog? Oh dang, you just get shredded by Bastion.
I got waxed.
Okay, so we got the resin. They're going for, they have Valk, they're using hers ult, so weren't staying spread out if she's sucking in 3 people, so being spread out, especially considering you're down your Roadhog right now, we definitely shouldn't be as pushed forward into the Orisa's face as we are. I guess she does come out for it, but still could be a bit more spread out between you guys. Try to play a bit further back while we're getting the res off. Okay. Sombra's jumping on Soldier. Roadhog's ulting when we're down 2. So this is, at this point, just as a reminder, because we've talked about this, about watching kill feed and knowing if we're up or down. At this point, this is probably a lost fight, and at the very least, it's a very heavy disadvantage because you're down both your DPS and you have no other additional significant advantage. So down 2, no significant advantage. So it's probably lost, and it doesn't look like this ult's doing a whole lot, and you just end up dying anyways. So probably just be better to save it. Okay. If you don't think you can get out, just make sure to die so you're not staggering. That way you can group up as a team and go in together. Okay. Mercy, I would note that you have a tendency to just go too far and to fly forward ahead of your team into danger. This has been a
Yeah.
few times now that maybe just like flew a hair too far ahead when you could have probably just sat back a little bit and then end up dying as a result. So we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, they get the res off, so awareness for all you guys on the Mercy. I don't know if you would have been able to stop it, but maybe. Doesn't seem like anybody even noticed. Okay. Chaotic. Dodge and Bastion ult. Right now it's a 5v4, so you guys are up a little bit. Okay, Moira is going ham. You guys get the Bastion, nice. Okay, so this is a one fight, just gotta keep up the pressure. We get the hack off, but we've already won, so you just push it. Sick. Awareness, guys, awareness. Right? That seems to be like one of the main things we're noticing here. Right, so Mercy's
True.
getting off a free res for the 4th time. Next to the whole team. Okay, so we're coming in with almost 5 ultimates, and we really at this point need kind of one fight. So as long as you don't get picked really early here, I'd say that the plan is just because you guys will have an ult advantage in comparison to them for the most part. I think that the plan honestly is just try to pop all your ults before they pop their ults, and you'll have an advantage in that. I don't know. Have we talked about? I don't think we've talked about this before. Cut me off if we have, but generally speaking, ultimates that are used first have an advantage against ultimates that are used second. That's not an end-all be-all statement. It's just a general rule of thumb. So you can most certainly have scenarios where the second ult gets more value, but generally speaking, the reason why the first ult gets more value is because it secures its value first. So, for example, imagine you have, let's pick one ultimate on your team. Imagine you have Mercy Valkyrie, right? If a Mercy Valks, and sometimes this does, like, if you use them both at the same time, it doesn't really matter. If she uses it a couple seconds after yours, it might not even matter. But if she uses it like 5-10 seconds after your Valk. So you have Valk, they have Valk. You Valk first, they Valk like 10 seconds later. Okay, well now your Mercy's Valk has damage boosted and healed your entire team, which let's say the damage boost lets you get 1 kill. Right now, when their Mercy goes to Valk, now they have 1 less person to heal and damage boost. So now you've secured the value and before their ultimate is able to secure the value. Now your ultimate's just gotten more value overall, because now their ultimate's gonna be less powerful in comparison. Plus, sometimes you could even win the fight before they get a chance to use their ult. So if you wipe a couple, you might be able to kill them before they get a chance. Let's say you Valk and then you kill their Mercy. Now their Mercy can't even Valk, and she might die and not be able to come back in time for the next fight. So things like that. Same thing with like a decent bit of ultimates. Now there's some cases like with defensive ultimates where it can be where you obviously should use them reactionary. Some ultimates get more value using them more of like a mid fight. Like sometimes it's not always best to like open a fight with like a diva bomb, right? Sometimes it's better to use that once things have happened. But generally speaking, it's best to use ultimates at the beginning of a fight. Once again, general rule of thumb, best to use them at the beginning of the fight. So if all of you come in here and you use 5 ultimates, you'll probably get some picks and probably win the fight. But if you let them ult first, they'll probably get value and probably be able to stall it out and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. Does that whole concept make sense? Any questions about that?
No,
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Makes sense, yeah.
Cool. All right, so we ult first, but Junkrat was low HP and out of position, but not much you guys can do to stop that. So that's kind of unfortunate. Um, Valk, I think, was decent timing. I mean, Tire just got canceled. That's unfortunate. Can we get the res? That's a question. Um, Here we go.
Look at
Okay,
that.
nice
That's a good angle.
res. Okay, Sombra's behind right now.
Ooh, actually, I have a point that I think we would really benefit from learning from.
Yep.
We always get waxed by dive characters. So, like, as the tank, this is just my perspective, and y'all can chime in as needed. But as the tank, I'm creating space, right? Pushing forward. Lack of awareness, right? Which we talked about working on. I think everyone's with me. And then someone's like, yo, Sombra's in the back. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a 1v4, right? They'll be fine. They'll clean her up real quick, and then we keep going. And then I'm like, okay, where's everyone at? And it's like, yo, Sombra's still back here. And then all of a sudden, Sombra, like, fucks everything up. They focus super long on Sombra. I die. And I'm like, dude, how did it take you guys that long? So, like, that's, like, my experience. So
Yep.
I'm wondering, like, I don't know if they want to chime in on that, but how do we handle characters like Sombra or Reaper that just go backline and just wax everyone?
Yeah. So, I think that the main point in that case would be, like, it kind of depends on. Sometimes it depends. The main point would be don't push while the Sombra's pressuring, because if you push while the Sombra's pressuring, then you're probably not going to get support, and then you'll die and lose value. Um, I would say that you can. Your two options are either peel, so turn around and look at the Sombra or the flanker, or put pressure on their front line to keep them from advancing. So those are your two options. Do you turn around and look at them at the Sombra to help kill the Sombra, or do you keep pressure on the Orisa to stop the Orisa from just running in through your team? That will kind of depend situationally upon how close are you to the Sombra, how close is the Orisa to pushing, and does she look like she wants to push? Does the tank look like they're about to push? Could they push? Do you need to put pressure on the front line? Is the Sombra right behind you? Or is the Sombra like a mile away from you and there's no way you would reach the Sombra? Right? These are all questions to ask, and that's why it's situational. But those are your two options: turn or stay looking on the front line. But you should not be pushing while there's pressure on your back line. So let's look at this scenario, for example, where Sombra is turned around behind on you guys, right? Um, so let's just kind of glance at this. Firstly, we're noting Moira is kind of out in the open, not using a whole lot of cover. If you guys know that there's a Sombra, make sure you're sticking very close together and not going off and isolating away from each other. If Moira's here, and Sombra hacks you, just look how far away you are from your teammates. Whereas if you're over here on the corner, you're gonna be a lot more effective in terms of peeling each other. Right now, Soldier gets to place down a health pad. Now you can, if Sombra goes to Soldier, you can heal Soldier. Roadhog can just turn around and hook the Sombra no matter where she's at. Here, Roadhog, you have the option. Do I turn and look at? I could just turn and quickly hook the Sombra, and then the Sombra's dead. That's a pick we just got. Here, they're not immediately pressuring you, so that is a very viable option right now. You have hook. You could put a pigpen and like just slap a pigpen down, and then just like turn and kill the Sombra, and then boom, easy kill. Your team isn't struggling, and then now you can focus on the front line. So no matter what you're doing, you just gotta kind of choose something and sync up. Let's see what Roadhog does. Roadhog just goes for the hook on down main. Moira dies because Moira was off by herself. And then we're just not looking at the Sombra, so Sombra just gets the value, right? Even let's look at Soldier. Was Soldier looking? I don't think Soldier looked at Sombra. Right, so Soldier didn't look at Sombra either. Right, so it's just no one's paying her attention. So that's how Sombra gets the value. Did that explanation make sense? Any questions on that?
Yeah, no, that makes sense for me.
Cool. Okay, so Junkrat's fighting Orisa. Roadhog's looking for the pick. On the Ana. Ooh. Linda melee after that hook. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think that would kill her, but maybe. Okay. Right now it's just a 3v5. You guys lost this fight. I mean, that's honestly good for you. You guys have pretty much lost this, and now they're using ultimates. This is like best case scenario for you guys, to be honest. Now you are more on even footing, so this is good. You just want to. You guys now want to be grouping up. You could. I guess it's a 3v4 now. Where did we get picks? We killed the Sombra. That's who we killed. We just killed the Sombra. They were already down Bastion apparently. So I guess we can just be, we can try to get picks, but we just gotta be careful that we're not staggering. Because if we stagger, then we're dead. No one's looking at the Mercy. Alright, so that's now like res number 5. Moira and Soldier could be looking at that. Your Mercy goes for the res. Good job, Mercy. Honestly, if either of you guys looked at her and used your ultimates on her, that would be massive value. Get a kill and stop the free Sombra res. Okay. Let's watch this. Roadhog, why are you 1 HP? Mercy gets the res. Okay, Sombra's behind. This is where probably want to be running for cover. Like, you can probably be backing off to the right or to the left. I mean, you're already close to the left, so maybe just back off to the left. Heal up for a second. Kind of regroup, but we're kind of standing out in the open. Okay, no one's looking at the Sombra. Can't really help the Junkrat who's off on his own. Yeah, just no one's paying any attention to Sombra. Alright, so that's your problem. If Sombra's running around in the back line, somebody's got to look at her. Mercy can't really look at Sombra. Moira could win that duel, but it's probably not as good of chances, especially if she gets to jump on you. Okay, group up. Okay, you guys are pushing in to initiate a fight without your tank, and you have 16 seconds left. Use this time to kill the Sombra. No one's looking at her. All of you should be trying to look at her and push her out. At the very least, push her out of position so that she's not pressuring you from behind. How are you guys supposed to push this way if Sombra's just standing here the entire time? Because nobody has shot at her. So if nobody shoots at her, she's just gonna stay over here. She's invisible. Good.
How do you see her? Because isn't she invisible?
She is invisible, but expect her to be over on the flank. And she also, we don't look at her even when she is visible. Why would Sombra be sitting here on the like, you can just do this through a process of elimination. Like, we're coming into the fight, where could Sombra possibly be? Sombra's probably not sitting main right next to the Orisa, probably. And if she is, then she's not a threat, right? And if she's so realistically, your only option is she's somewhere on this right-hand side, maybe behind us. That could be an option, but she's probably on this right-hand side because that's where she also has been previously in all these other fights. So just using that, and then being ready for her to turn on you guys. So it is what I think is fine for you guys to shoot down the main for a little bit there, but like when Sombra's just like popping up on Soldier here, right? Soldier's not turning to look. Moira's turning to look now. Get her, Moira. But it's just like Everybody's always slowly reacting, and it's never multiple people. It's like maybe one person. Okay. Mars ulting. We get a kill. They EMP. It's a 4v4. We probably want to pop visor soon. Okay, Moira dies. Probably. We can get the res. Nice, we land the hook, but oh, Roadhog dies. Roadhog. Probably don't want to be going for hook when you're 1 HP. Just get around the corner. Mercy, prioritize keeping Roadhog alive for like 2 more seconds before rezzing. If one Roadhog should be getting around the corner if he's 1 HP. 2, if you just heal him up a hair more, then you can res. That's gonna be a lot of value because then you have 2 people up instead of just trading. And then Soldier, just watch the res, because that just slowly reacting to it just means that she gets it off for free. And then now your visor doesn't get value. How is this a 3-2 win? You guys win this? Maybe.
We got hot.
No, I was just wondering, like, cause I thought before we said it was a 3-2 win. Maybe it's a.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
It's
it's
a comeback story.
2-2.
Wait, what? I'm
said,
confused by what you mean.
Oh no! At the very beginning, I thought you said that it was that the score was 3-2.
Yeah, I think it is, right? No.
Well, you guys only capped 2 points.
Oh, maybe we lost then. I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I think we won this one, from what I remember.
I could have sworn it's a 3-2 victory.
All good. I mean, it just is like I guess a 2-2 victory if you held them on second. I don't know how that works.
Oh, maybe we did. Yeah.
Or you hold them on third, so maybe that counts it as 3-2.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
So we didn't cap there then. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Thought we did.
All right. So your team composition, they're running basically the same thing, right? They're on spam. You guys are also kind of running spam.
Yeah, it's like a poke, right?
A little bit of brawl, but mostly poke. Where is your? Oh, Junkrat just died. Okay, I was like, where's your 5th person?
Ooh.
So Soldier, hair.
Got caught.
Yeah, caught out, right? Hair overextended. Same. I mean, Junkrat was definitely very much overextended. At that point, especially after they got picked, but your plan ultimately here should be to fall back to here and hold this corner. That's really the best position for you guys to hold from. So rather than trying to push in and do something, it'd be much better to fall back and stuff them at the choke point. We've talked about choke points in No Man's Land before, right?
Yeah, that's what we finished on last session.
So that's basically what this is, right? This is like kind of like a choke point here that they have to push through. So they just can't really go, like their option is like this, or this, and like kind of all 3 aren't great. So if we're pushing up here, then it's just, once again, it's negating. They don't have to push through the bad positioning, and you do have to push through the bad positioning. So probably just want to be holding back on the corner, which will be a much more defendable position. You'll actually have cover to work with. You'll be more survivable, and you'll get to shoot them the whole time they're trying to push in. Mercy, same thing again, where like you don't need to like fly into their team to be healing the Ramatra here, right? Like you can heal Ramatra from where you're standing, and yet you fly here to be in front of him. And then you stay here. I mean, you get caught on the wall. Whoopsies. Right, so just going too far forwards and
Oops.
being over aggressive. So watching for that. Yep.
Sheesh.
Dang, come on, Spence.
Alright. Now, at this point, you guys is just a very big disadvantage anyways, because we've been down people this whole time. Oh, we get a pick. Sick.
Okay, Inky Squid.
Nope.
Alright.
Damn.
Maybe if we had tried to back up there, we could be regrouping and trying to go for a late contest as an option, right? Like you have 3 here. If Ramatra had backed up, maybe you could try to touch with 4 people as an option. But now
Oh,
it's
this
not
is
really an option.
I remember this. This is the iconic switch to hamster. Actually, I don't know if this was. I think this might have actually been a bad decision. I don't remember.
Alright, so you guys get picked. Now, once again, you guys are staying in when the fight's lost, which is kind of already just happened. So once again, reminder, if the fight has been lost or you're in a massive disadvantage, get out, right? Don't just stay pushing. If you're staying at your normal aggression and you're sitting around, you're just gonna stagger yourselves. Staggering, that's a term everyone's familiar with.
Yep.
Yep. To define it, right? Staggering is dying late from your team. And when you do that, it's really bad because now your team has 2 decisions if you've died late. Either they can A, wait for you, in which case you've just wasted a ton of time, or B, push in without you and now they're at a disadvantage and they're more likely to lose the fight. And you can also start stagger trains where they like 2 people stagger and then it goes like 5 seconds and then 2 more people stagger and then it goes 5 seconds and then the people are now walking back and then they go in and stagger and then it just keeps going and going and going, and that's how you give up entire fights and entire points, is by just continuing to stagger. So if you have lost the fight, if you don't think you can easily get out, just let them kill you. So that way you're dying at the same time. It'll be much better to sync up with your team, and it's not like the ultimate charges is just, it doesn't matter. Like it's inconsequential. So Ball, you could easily get out here. Moira and Junkrat, maybe you might be, if you had started leaving like 3 seconds ago, 4 seconds ago, probably could get out. But just got to be deciding what you're doing instead of just sitting in here. Somehow the Orisa just, and that's not really, that was their Orisa making a misplay and their team being bad. So sometimes with different things, do note that just because a mistake isn't punished doesn't mean it's not a mistake. Like there, you guys were able to get away with your mistake because they didn't push you. 1, 2, their Orisa was out of position, so you guys ended up punishing their Orisa for making a mistake. So that's why I kind of ended up working out instead of them just staggering you further.
Right.
And then they missed the Bastion ult, so their mistakes made up for your mistakes. Okay, nice. We got picks. Okay. I think it's fine for you guys to be on different targets here. Now we can probably just focus the Orisa. Sick. They will have Nano something, probably Orisa or Bastion if I had to guess, because they're probably not doing Mercy or Widowmaker. When they do that, once again, Orisa ult, they'll have that, so we probably want to stay spread out and not grouped up together. Besides that, we just have a few things. We don't really have too much we can maybe like combo Valk and Visor. That's pretty much about it. Uh-oh. Moira gets headshot. Once again, I don't know if I would recommend pushing into them to engage, because then that just like this right here is bad positioning. So let them push into it, and then maybe we can like slam on them from above while they're pushing in or something like that, right? Like we can be just waiting for them to push and then engaging on them, and then that doesn't make force your team to push into this tight corridor, which I just don't think we're as a team standing in great position. Moira gets picked again. Sniped the second time, and that's just because like their Widowmaker has kind of just free roam reign to sit here. Like their whole team can just kind of shoot straight into like this corner and that corner, and then they just get free shots. Much so it's just not a great place to stand. So your team shouldn't be that close to them. We push into them when they're brawlier than you guys are. At the moment, with a Bastion, Ana, and Orisa, they're brawlier than you guys. And so you shouldn't be pushing and trying to make something happen. That's why you guys lose that fight. Is because you are no longer brawly and they are brawly. Ish. They're still spam, but they're brawlier than you guys are. And therefore you shouldn't be pushing into a really tight corridor intentionally when you could let them do that and then engage on them after they've pushed into the tight corridor. Take the high grounds. If you take the high grounds, you can go and like punish the Widowmaker, and then just be able to shoot them at them from this angle, from this angle. Once they get underneath you, you could like drop and contest it if you want to, but you just will have a massive advantage. We're not utilizing the high grounds very much here. Mercy to go for the res, and is anybody watching it? Junkrat swoops in maybe. Nope, too late. Nobody was watching the res, so that's now like res number 6 that their Mercy's gotten off for free. That's a lot of value that we're letting her get away with. Oh man, this is cluttered. All right, so we are up 1 currently. We have a lot of ultimates. We almost have all 5 ultimates. They only have 2 ults, but we're also not using any right now. So we probably wanted to have ult planned and said what we're using. In best case scenario here, so we're not using all 5. Let's see what happens. And also, so we're not using none of them. Maybe Valk Visor might be a good play here, but we'll see what we use. We get the Widow, nice. Okay, so balls contesting. I think that's fine. It might even be better just to like I said, take the high ground and just let them push underneath, so you're not pushing into bad positioning, but not the end of the world. Okay, so we use tire. We're up here, so it wasn't really your option. Okay, cool. We win. We only use 1 ult. Perfect. Take the high grounds for this next fight. You'll be able to significantly get a lot of damage on them while they're trying to push. All you guys are turning for the Sombra. I think once Sombra gets away, like we just bail off of the high ground. Ball's not on high ground, Moira's not on high ground, Soldier's about to drop, Mercy's not on high ground. Nobody's took the high ground. And thus we give them the ability to have their Mercy, like their Mercy's just floating up here and sitting up there. They get to walk and take right here from here to here. They get to take all of this space for free, and we didn't shoot at them at all because we're trying to like chase after the Sombra, who honestly, I don't think that that was worth it, to be honest. Okay, we have a lot of ultimates available once again. They only have one, so we can probably just use two and call it a day. Once again, maybe like Valk Visor. Okay, we use Coalescence. We use Mines. We use Valk. Mines don't seem like they're going to get very much value because we kind of just plop them there. Make sure if you're using mines that you are... Usually if you're using mines... Oh, firstly, you're low. Want to be careful about pushing while you're low. But we use mines when nobody's in them, when you're not in a position to slam down with them, and thus they're not going to do anything. Like, we can stall them for... We can zone them out from pushing for the next 5 seconds, but it doesn't really do much beyond that. They can still win this fight decently easy, and now we're just down an ultimate. So really, that didn't really get much value at all. Make sure that you're slamming with your mines and you're putting them on top of them or behind them so that they can't retreat. Using mines for zoning can be good in situations where they need to contest point. But they don't need to contest point right here. That's not it's not like they have any necessity to go and stand on your mines. Where it would be good as zoning would be like if you're about to, let's say you're about to cap on attack and they're pushing back into you, and you can either put them at the door or on top of cart to stop them from touching point, and now you just cap for free. Or if you're defending, right, and they're about to cap, and it's last fight, you just plop your mines on point, and now they have to run into your mines to get to point, right? That's a zoning mine. This isn't a zoning mine, or at least it's not done done well. Okay, Sombra's jumping on Soldier. Okay. You guys are also just not running like anything that is able to easily deal with the Sombra. That's like another thing to keep in mind. Like maybe like a McCree might be able to deal with that. I mean, when you had a Roadhog that was able to deal with the Sombra, Soldier's just gonna be able to be like Soldier. If the Sombra gets to jump on Soldier, Soldier just has the disadvantage in that duel. I mean, if they're just going head to head, it's even. But if Sombra gets the jump on you, you're at a disadvantage. If Mercy's pocketing Soldier here, uh-oh, pistol, then Soldier might be able to win that. You're also just running to isolate yourself. You're running away from your team when you're in danger. Nobody else is turning to look at the Sombra because everyone's looking down mid. Because of the fact that the ball's just sitting on point right now, primarily. So Sombra's just kind of melting the back line. Good res. Oh. Okay, so we go in, we get the slam. Okay, that wasn't a very easy res to stop. They get the hack off. We only have Visor, which we could still be using at any point here. Like, at any point we could be visoring. That could maybe be something that pulls us around. Mercy is rezzing, but I mean, it's just really only ball looking at her. Not much you can do about the Junkrat. Nice res. Soldier gets ganked by the Sombra, unfortunate. I mean, you guys are just stalling really good here. Oh, we got off point.
Brutal.
What? How is their brig even touching from there? Alright. That's unfortunate. Yeah, just got off for like a second. Otherwise, that's like potentially winnable. I mean, you guys were at least would have stalled it for a lot longer. Okay. Now, time to regroup. Yep, just die. Soldier, just run in and die. Yep, there you go. Cool. Okay. So we have approximately 2 or 3 fights. So we can't, this isn't last fight or anything like that. Not looking great because we just used a ton of ultimates to stall, which I think was might not, like, I don't know if I would have used especially considering they only need to win 1 fight here. I don't know if it was a great idea to like use mines to contest while you're losing the fight. Maybe if you like stalled it out longer and it looked like you could win it, then sure, but it still didn't even look like it was a 1 fight or winnable fight. Now we're in a tough situation because we have 1 ult and they have 3 ultimates coming up. So we got to play this real careful and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how we win it. We get a pick on the Sombra. That's massive. Probably want to just push with that. Maybe Visor, try to get picks, and then that will be, if you get picks, now they're down a 2nd person. Awesome. We want to guard that res, make sure they don't get it off for free. Are they going to get the res off for free? Oh, they get the res off for free. Cool. Now it's like 7 times this game. When you have a Soldier who can shoot it and Ball who can go and jump in on top of it.
If I slam her as Ball, does that disrupt it?
Not slam. You'd have to boop her and shoot her.
Oh, I see.
I don't think slam will boop her high enough to cancel it. But if you slam her and then shoot her, she will probably die. Any of you individually, unless she's being pocketed, any of you individually have the capability of melting her before she gets the res off. So if Soldier shoots at her as soon as she goes for the res, or if Ball shoots her as soon as she goes for the res, she's dead. And all it takes is just knowing that she's going for it, which you should know that she's going for it because she's Mercy, right? And she'll probably be trying to go for reses. Okay. Mercy and Symmetra are right behind you guys. All of you want to just peel and look at them, and that's 2 free kills. Now, is this called? Oh, Mercy flies out. That's fine. Symmetra, look at Symmetra. Cool. We get the kill. Ball gets hacked. Uh-oh, not too much Ball can do there because she gets hacked out of it. Like, besides maybe trying to dodge around the corner if you know it's coming. We get res off. Awesome. There, we get the res off. That's massive.
60 seconds remaining.
Cool. Soldier, note that you've gone like 3 fights without ulting.
Yeah, use that thing, Inky Squid. That's called not locking in your value right there.
Cool. Oh, so I think Inky was maybe looking for the flank or the or advisor, something like that. But if you're, once again, awareness, guys, because she just teleported, like, right next to your head. Right, she just teleported like right over your head, right there. And then we're like, I think maybe you thought she was in the other room, but then like we're running off into a room by ourselves.
He's
And
out. He's dipping. Oh my god.
Alright, so all of you guys want to be paying attention and grouping up and not spreading out. Nice, free res. Cool, cool. Okay, awesome. We have one fight left, approximately. If we get picks here, they're just gonna have to stagger back on, right, which is great for us. We're now in a much, much, much better position than we were before. They have one, maybe two ults, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 ultimates, right? So we have a massive ult advantage. And for some reason they're pushing in when they're down people, which means that you guys, if you get these picks, that is massive in game winning. So we just want to just like, oh, and Junkrat dies immediately. If you guys get picks here, then this is 1000% winnable. Okay, they're ulting. We still have Pfizer. Sombra's like right here. Moira dies. Uh-oh, this is not looking great. Now it's like a 5v3. Mercy dies because she gets sniped. Uh-oh. How the heck do you guys win this? Okay,
Think
so
I could.
soldiers. Go ahead.
No, I was.
The clutch.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so soldiers finally visoring. Let's go, let's go. Oh, clutch. Massive.
Yep. Let's cook.
Res, get the res, guys. Get the res. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's number 8. All right, so soldier gets 2 picks. They get off a res, so it's still, oh, there's so many dead bodies. It's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4v1. How do we win this? All right, Junkrat gets a kill. Let's go. All right, so we just frag out random kills, I guess. They get off point. I thought they were gonna see none for a second. All right.
Oh,
Moira comes
adventure.
to contest. Mercy gets the
Oh.
res. Stall, massive stall.
Holy
That's
crap!
crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go res. They're distracted now. Oh, okay. Man, this is impressive.
We're just rolling around, dude.
Alright, so
That was
now...
actually wicked good, Mercy.
Alright, soldier gets picked. Honestly, with the Sombra, yeah, like might be a good idea if I have like a McCree or something like that, especially if getting killed so frequently by her. Alright,
Oh, I popped that. Yeah.
massive zoning ultimate. Very easy way to just make that a jump. It's just jump up on top of cart and jump off of cart and slam. Very easy way to get a slam in with that mine. Okay, we're coalescing. We get the oh, massive, and that's game. Right there.
Let's
Wow.
go.
Man, if I was watching that and you hadn't told me the outcome, I would have thought that was a lost fight.
Let's go. Big Mercy play.
Good job, good job.
Huge Mercy going back and forth on point.
All right. Cool, cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, what do you guys think? We have, let's see, time-wise.
We got about 30 minutes left.
Yeah, something around there. So we can probably go over a bit more. Were there any things, any questions that came up, any topics that people want to cover?
I like what we covered. I mean, personally,
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
So you think Cass is a good person to play if like the other team has a Sombra?
Yeah, it's in comparison to Soldier. Soldier's like, because Cass just, if you're just comparing Soldier to Cass, so Cass is a bit more HP, has a roll that reduces damage, has a flash grenade. What did they change the name back? Did they swapped it? I can't remember. Is it still Electro?
I think
or
it's
is it...
still it's flashbang again. I think
Okay, yeah.
it's
but...
not magnetic grenade.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure if they changed the name again. So he has his flashbang that that can hinder opponents from using a movement ability. So now Sombra can't translocate away and get invis. So that would much more easily stop the Sombra.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. We want another match?
Yeah, I got So this one's gonna have let's see. Let me just find one that makes sure I got enough people in it. One second.
All good.
Okay. Yo, Spencer, I have the Doomfist game. Should I show him that?
I would not.
Yeah, I had a really good Doomfist game.
Yeah, really good. You played Doomfist tilted, jumped off the map, screamed and got off.
All right, I have one that's me, Klonopin, and then Lounge Lizard. I don't know if Lounge Lizard stayed in here, but he's in this one. So it's gonna be
I'm in here. Sorry, my thing was muted.
You're good. All right, so the code is EECFNY.
When was this on?
It says it was a week ago.
It all blends together.
Definitely.
Hey man, that's what it takes to be the best, you know?
That's so true.
All right. Let's see. All right, so you guys are blue this time.
1.
Yeah, definitely give a Lounge Lizard some critiquing, you know? He's been avoiding a lot of these.
All right, sounds good. All right, so you guys. Wait, so who on your team is you guys a Lounge Lizard?
So it's Klonopin.
Junkrat is Lounge Lizard, yeah.
Yeah, Klonopin, Blacksmith, and Lounge Lizard. And then the other two we don't know.
Okay.
I just don't
Compared
play Xbox a lot, so you'll see me on. I don't play on console too much. I play on PC a lot, so I usually just play like Mercy or something. I'm not good with the console aim.
Gotcha. All right. So you guys are on like a brawly spam ish, right? You got, I mean, like you're decently brawly with a Lucio, Junkrat. Like all of you are basically half brawl, half spam, and that's just kind of your characters. This isn't. I would say this is less of a hybrid and more of just that you guys, like all your characters are just spam characters that are brawly.
Okay.
So I don't think this is a bad composition to be running per se. They are running a brawl for the most part as well. Also kind of running a little bit of a brawly spam. They're not. It's just like not a hard brawl. So both of you guys are pretty brawly, which is good for this point. Yeah, their Lucio's doing their Juno. Rest of y'all are looking for something. Okay, nice. We get a res off. Massive, good hook.
Yeah, so I think with this game we... yeah, this was also a close one. It says. I won't say what happens, though.
Yep. I'm hanging some cards. Yeah, they just got picks off on you guys. Make sure not to push back into a lost fight. right? Both of, I mean, Lounge Lizard especially here. I mean, since I can't talk to the McCree, but it's just a 1 HP Lucio on point, and they have 5 people. So this is a lost fight. Just regroup and. Oh, we ended up capping there. That's why we were having some value. But I think honestly it's just better that we regroup here than stagger further. And if you guys are pushing in, you're probably gonna stagger, and then now you guys are gonna have to regroup and take even longer to get back to point. Okay, Lucio's feeding. Junkrat's getting rolled. Be careful about just if they're on a bastion and he's just sentry spamming down the main. Might be good to try to find a different angle. So maybe go get flank angle set up so you can come and spam this direction. Maybe like bounce up and take the high ground. Try to pop out this right side. That way you're just not sitting in like this is the one spot that all of the damage is coming. So be careful about being in that one spot. If you're going to go through it, you might even want to like mine across so that you're not just sitting in it. Because that's going to get you killed like how it does here. Because we just come in and then just walk into all of the damage. Right, so watch where all the damage is coming from and look to avoid it. We land the hook on the Bastion. Unfortunate, that one, like, some of these you can't really stop, right? Like, that one, you guys just don't have enough pressure to be able to stop it. Last game, there were tons of them that we could have stopped for free. That one, not really much you guys can do about it. For the Mercy Res. Did we not have res? Did we have res? Oh, we did have res. I think we probably could have gotten res off, like here, right? Because Roadhog gets around the corner and nobody's pushing yet. So you could have gone for it right then. Now that they're pushing, you can't, but really could have a second ago. Somehow our shots don't connect there. So land the hook. Somehow, I don't even, you connected to something there. So we got the hook. We're too slow to shoot at him, so we're shooting at him while he's rolling, which reduces your damage by half. At least I'm pretty sure it's half, unless they tweaked the number here or there, and I forget how much it is. So your damage isn't doing anything. Nobody else looks at the McCree who just got hooked, right? Like Junkrat, like you just saw McCree get hooked, and we don't change to look at him. I mean, it happens pretty quick, but all of you guys should hopefully be changing your perspective to look at him, and then make sure to just, as soon as they're coming in, shoot at them. Maybe even also have a pig pen set down so you can't back up as quickly. Maybe have a pig pen down, you can hook him into the pig pen, and then that will do extra damage and not let him back out as easy. Alright, so now we're pushing. Oh, they have people flanking behind. They have a bunch. Okay, everybody's got a bunch of ults. I mean, they don't have anything that you can. Oh wait, no. I'm looking at the teams backwards because the last game. Yeah, their team doesn't have anything that you can like directly counter per se without your Lucio ult. Your Lucio ults probably would be best for their Junker Queen probably, or just whatever it's needed for. So just use it reactionarily. Not that you can control your Lucio per se, but maybe it could be communicated. People are sneaking in behind. Nice trap. Mercy goes to point. We're just a little spread out right now. Roadhog, I don't even know how you're over here right now. So like this is another scenario where like your team's kind of split up and shooting at different things, and they don't seem to like. You guys are shooting at them behind you, which is good. You should be. If you're McCree, like the rest of them are kind of backing up. If you're McCree and Hog push the Bastion, he dies pretty easy. Because bashing melts both of the other people. Nice. Oh, free res by Mercy again. Right, because we're not watching it. Mercy's watching point. Roadhog, watch the res. Okay, nice. We get a free res. Perfect. Okay, sick. We do not need a Roadhog ult right now because this is a one fight, right? 4v1. Okay, so we're spamming them as they're pushing in. Nice, we get a pick. Lucio's over dueling the McCree. Good job, Lucio. Junkrat, you're a hair too far back here. Okay, because McCree comes on the flank. I think you should just be up towards your team. Because from here, you just end up getting isolated from them. Whereas if you're like here with the Mercy, you can watch the flank. You have the ability to mine up to here and watch the flank and things like that. While also being able to shoot down main. From back here, you just end up getting isolated and pushed away from your team because you're being shot at, and then now you're just really far away and are struggling to get value from all the way over there. Lucio's still dueling the McCree. Oh, sick. He's gonna do it. Oh.
Damn. One health.
Okay. Junkrat closes the distance. This is looking winnable because they just don't have enough people here. It's just Bastion, so I think you guys got it. Oh, another ult used in a one fight, right? So awareness, awareness, awareness. Watch kill feed. Watch what's happening in the flow of the fight. Because if we don't know what's happening in the flow of the fight, then we won't be able to know whether or not we should be ulting or not. Because here we're using an ult when it's a 4v1, pretty much. So second wasted ultimate. So call it out, guys. Communicate it. Watch kill feed. Get up that audio kill feed. Okay. McCree's really pushed forwards. I don't know why, but he is. Miscommunication. Roadhog's running the point while everybody else is just sitting here fighting still. So
Story of my life.
they could have probably pushed you guys and taken that fight, but they back up. So you just make sure you're all on the same page. Communicate. Sit. Roadhog say, I'm going to point. Everybody else say, we're staying and fighting. And then somebody will say, oh, wow, I should go do the other thing. Maybe, but most likely, I mean, like, it's just like a both and. Like, Roadhog is kind of in charge of where you guys are going, so follow the Roadhog. But also, Roadhog, pay attention to where your team's at, because if you like are pushing and then notice, oh, my whole team's still back there, you still got 30 seconds left until point unlocks. Maybe just take the fight, you know? In fact, it was a 4v3, so you might have even been able to push the fight and have had an advantage if you stayed. And then you would have had a free fight win. So it might have even been better if you had stayed. Okay. Lucio gets picked. You guys have players coming back. Junkrat, once again, playing really far angles. Junkrat, you most certainly can play ranges as required, and depending on the situation, but range is not your like long ranged is not your preference where you want to be spending most of your fights. It usually is more close to mid range in terms of where you want to be positioning. That's what makes Junkrat kind of like a mix between spammy brawl because he can pump a lot of damage in at a distance, but like especially here, like that's usually done like chokes and stuff like that. Here, if you're just doing that, you're gonna be very ineffective with your damage because you're just gonna be chucking in shots and then we're just gonna like spray and pray and hope that something connects and we get a kill. Not as effective as like probably being more in the range of like the Roadhog here and playing around these, maybe even taking high grounds and go like, what if you're like right here and you land a shot mine into the McCree and that's a kill. Right, so playing, usually Junkrat wants to play more between like the 0 to 20 meters range or so, maybe 25 maximum. Right now we're like backing out of the fight when we have when it's a 4v5, right? So only down a person and we're backing out of the fight. And we were playing a far distance in the first place, and now we're rotating and taking a far distance. Now we're getting closer, but it's like halfway through the fight that we're getting closer. Okay, so they capped point. Let's see what's happening here. So they cap. Yep. All right. I guess it's still winnable. Uh-oh. We get shredded. Or the Roadhog gets shredded. Watch the sleep. Watch the nade. Make sure you're using cover. Look to avoid them. Okay. Now, at this point, you guys probably want to look to start playing more passive. You're down your tank. You have a Lucio Brawl dueling the McCree again. He wins it this time. So I guess you guys can keep up some of the aggression, but you just want to be very careful. You guys just need to be very careful. You're still down people. Yeah, male, just gotta stay spread. Lucio goes and gets picked. They waste their mail on nothing. Cool. Okay, Joker's getting slapped. Unfortunate, so awareness, cover, make sure we're dodging the sleep and watching out for it. Whole hog the hair early, we get a pick. Okay, we pop 4 ultimates to secure point. They're using 2. And they already use Mayult, so it's not a horrible trade if we win it. Okay. Whole hog was a bit early. You guys don't really have control over the Lucio and the McCree. Valk seemed fine. Okay, we got like 14 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can look over like one last big fight, and then we can kind of we can maybe summarize like everything we've talked about, kind of what we should do moving forward, and then we can just wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so they have control over point. We swapped to Reaper. We're down 2. We're also on Kiriko now. We're getting picked. We just gotta regroup. We're having so many of just like these long, drawn out fights where nothing's decisive. Okay, now it's a 4v5. This is on 1. Uh-oh. Murdog is not in a good position. I mean, not much to do there besides knowing it's coming. Nice. We get a pick. We res. Res. Oh, we're slow on the res. We do have. Oh no, it's down. Never mind. I guess we just used it on something. Okay. Visor. We use it from an angle where like we can't really see very much, so I don't think we can get much value out of it. Right? Like look at your health. You're already low, and everything's next to cover, and nobody's out in the open, and there's no space. So this visor's probably not going to do very much. And I doubt that you're going to get a kill out of it, just because everybody can just run around the corner. So make sure to use visor when they don't have cover to run, or where you have angles to get them. Like, for example, like if you're visoring from here, well, now where are the Junkrat and the May or the Junker Queen and the May gonna go, right? Like they just don't have nearly as much cover. Or if you're doing it from like right here, right, you can have an angle where you can see people where they just don't have as much, and you can just they can't run away from you nearly as easily. All right, we can now res. Probably should have res. There we go. Soldier gets picked. Uh-oh. Make sure he's in cover. Alright. That's lost. Alright, why don't we exit out here? Let's just, let's, I guess, chat for a minute. We got the last 10 minutes here to wrap up. Do a quick review. I mean, I think that based off of what I'm seeing, I mean, what we talked about in this session, we talked about a lot of awareness and paying attention. Watch those mercy reses. We talked about how to deal with the somber who's behind you, just tearing up your back line. We continued to talk about team compositions and using cover and making sure that you're syncing up as a team. Sometimes you're just out of sync as a team. We touched more on making sure that you guys aren't staggering and making sure you guys aren't over ulting, and you're just identifying when a fight is won or lost, because there are some times where we're just not aware and then just approaching a fight wrong, or we're staggering when we don't need to. So honestly, I think that you guys just keep going through and working on these things. Like awareness will be something that you guys kind of work on individually. That's not really something that you can work on as a team.
Right.
Like it's not like there's some team awareness. You don't have some hive mind, at least as far as I'm aware. So awareness will be something that you guys individually work on. Positioning, probably generally speaking, also will be on the individual level. So make sure that you guys are just using cover and taking high grounds, because we weren't taking high grounds on second point of Midtown. And then besides that, so those are two big ones to work on the individual level. On the team level, if you're up again, maybe you can focus on if they're on a if they're ever on like a uh, flanky characters that are tearing up your back line, focus uh, on peeling and finding the balance between when to peel and when not to. Focus on them. All of you guys got to make sure you're shooting the Mercy, because that's a lot of free value that she got. Um, Besides that, as a team, keep working on your communication roles. I think that you can, as you can see from what we've been talking about, there are a lot of situations where just simply knowing, like, honestly, like, there's just simply knowing that ultimates are happening is just a lot of value.
Right.
Even if you guys didn't do the ult countering, because there are a decent bit of ultimates in the game that don't really need a plan against. You just need to know that they're coming and know to get around the corner or know to stay spread out. Like those are really your main two things. Get around the corners, spread out. From spread out from the big tanky ultimates and get around corners from the big DPS ultimates that are going to shoot at you. And if you guys know that it's coming and know to do those things, then you will have a lot of success at dodging their ultimates. And then also just making sure that you guys are calling who you're shooting at, and calling when there's people on you on the back line. And if you're getting killed like 10 times in the back by somebody, call it and like try to come up with a plan so that you can try to kill that person. Uh, Team comp wise, make sure you guys are trying to sync up as a team and not be split apart, like
Right.
you were when you're running Reinhardt, and not really seeing much value. Make sure you guys are kind of all on the same page and the right team composition. Um, I think that like covers a lot of the different categories. I mean, like just keep like it, whether you guys do more sessions in the future with me or you just are going off on your own now, just keep looking to identify what areas you guys can improve on. Maybe if you guys didn't come back for more, like once in a while do a VOD review night. Or just keep your eye open and like watch for what are the things that you can be improving on. I don't think went into this, but easy way for you to be able to identify the things to work on and the improvement process, is this is really like just how I do my coaching, and this is how I self improved at Overwatch. It's this process of identify what the mistake is. That's the first step. The
Okay.
mistake is usually pretty simple. Like just think, for example, deaths are a very easy mistake to watch out for. Other mistakes could be things such as letting a teammate die, not getting a kill that you could have gotten, being out of position, misusing abilities, misusing ultimates, things like that. Those are all mistakes. So what is the
Right.
mistake? What is the issue within the mistake? Because a lot of the times the you messing up is caused by something else, right? So for example, when you're dying, why are you dying? Does any of this sound familiar? Have I touched on this?
Um, not. I don't think like how to identify mistakes we've gone over, but
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
yeah. So when you're dying, what are some common reasons why people die in Overwatch?
Like out of position, no cover.
Out of position, overextended, no cover, lack of awareness, misuse of abilities, poor movement, things like that, right? Maybe a few
Sorry, my mic
others.
was muted there. I was gonna say not alt tracking well.
Yeah, not ult tracking, right? Yep, and that's maybe that goes a little bit into awareness, or I mean, just ult tracking, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
exactly. And those are the issues within the mistake. If I just say die less, that's some value, but really you need to know why are you dying in the first place. And then after you know that issue, then you watch out for the things that are most commonly showing up and are the highest impact, because sometimes there's like really common mistakes that aren't really that big of a deal. Like for example, sometimes like people spamming the jump button usually isn't great, but it's also not that massive of a deal. But if you're dying, then and you can easily prevent it, that is a big deal. So look to prevent your deaths. And usually you look for the solution. Solution is usually pretty simple. It's the opposite of the problem in a lot of cases. So if you're out of position because you're not using cover, use cover. If you're not on the high ground, go stand on the high ground. If you're not paying attention and being aware of your surroundings, pay attention and be aware of your surroundings. And there you will find your solution to the problem that you're facing. And finally, application. We already talked about application before. Focus on the thing you're trying to work on. So
Right.
just keep all that in mind while you're going through, and you guys will be all right. Keep trying to work on what we've been talking about. Don't just hear all of it and then go and not do any of it, because then you won't change anything and you'll just be doing the same stuff. And I think that's really about it. Any final questions?
No, I think we're good.
I think it was good, yeah.
Appreciate your time. Honestly, this was fun. This was a cool
That was fun, yeah.
experience.
All right, awesome. My pleasure. So let's see. I'll get you